Hi friends! Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kate, and today we're going to be talking about everything I got up to in the month of April. If you're new to this channel, every month I share my monthly wrap-ups where I tell you guys all the games I played and different updates I made on each of them, as well as I share the different books I read and my opinions on each of them and what I rated them. I used to do this on my main channel Mush Fairy, but I have since transitioned all of my face and lifestyle content over to this channel. So if you aren't subscribed to this channel, make sure you definitely subscribe because I have a lot of fun upcoming videos planned and I cannot wait to share them with you guys. But now that we have all of the intro stuff out of the way, let's jump into the first part of this video where we talk about all the different games I played. Okay, we are jumping straight into the games, and obviously we have to start with Genshin Impact. We always do. There is a lot of unfortunate stuff I have to share with you on here though, so buckle up, I guess, if you care. So as you all know, or maybe you don't know, I don't know. I feel like I've talked about it a lot, at least in my Discord server, and I mean, maybe in my videos. I really wanted Linnea, but I was unsuccessful in getting her. At 35 pity, I did get a 5-star, but unfortunately I lost the 50-50 and it was not Linnea. No Linnea. I got myself a Jean constellation, so now I have Jean C1, even though she's still sitting at level 1, so that's not really helpful to me in any way. It's fine. We are at least guaranteed now, so I'm just trying to save my pulls. It's been hard because I kind of want Nefer, but I think I'm just going to save for now because I built Swiffy's Nefer that can hold me over for a little bit longer. I'll just try to get her on her next rerun. I think I want to save for a new character, but we'll see. Sorry, I'm trying to fix these flyways that just cannot be tamed. The last thing I want to show you on Genshin is after what is it? Is it like 8 weeks, 10 weeks? I can't even remember how long you have to do your dailies for, but I successfully did my dailies and used my resin for long enough that I was able to get Ayaka's constellation, so she's now C1, and now that she's C1, I definitely am more inclined to build her. That, and she has a level 90 Mist Splitter, which is her weapon. It used to be on literally every character I've ever built as a main DPS, but now that I have her, I gave it back to her, so I'm like, if it's gonna be on her, she really shouldn't be level 1. So hopefully that's gonna happen soon, especially now that we have a constellation. There's a little bit of motivation for it. But let's hop on to the next game. Next up, we are jumping into Honkai Star Rail. Obviously, I like to do all my Hoyo gacha games first up just because same launcher makes sense in my brain. What is taking so long? Why is it not loading? Hello? Do we think it's trying? Like, I don't even have a loading thing. Okay, now we're getting a little loading thing on the bottom at least. That's more than I got last time. But you're saying checking data updates and not moving. Okay, I switched internets, but okay, that worked. Maybe my internet's just being weird. So now that I'm successfully into here, I have to show you everything that happened. There's quite a few updates for us in the month of April. First up is I did lose a 50-50. I started this month on a really bad streak. Like, I was losing every 50-50 there was. It was to Clara. I can't remember, was it my first Clara? It was. So now I have Clara. At least it's a new character, so it's someone I could build. I always thought she was cute. She's just not like, you know, losing a 50-50 never feels great. You never want the character that you weren't pulling for, you know? But thankfully, because of the whole Honkai Star Rail anniversary, you're able to get some free characters, so I think that is what helped me cope. I chose, I don't know how you pronounce her name, is it Huohuo? I don't know. This is who I chose. I honestly just think she's a cutie. I believe she is a healer and I need more healer options on my team, especially a 5-star option. So hopefully I will build her soon on my main channel. But the very last thing is I also picked Robin as one of my like free character selects. It's in the shop. That's the one I'm talking about. But yeah, I chose Robin because I love her character design. I really have always wanted her, so there's no better time than now. Who knows how long it'll take me to build her? I'm literally only adding to my level 1 character stash in all of these games, but I swear to you, I'm also doing my best to work through building them all. So please keep holding out hope for me. But that's all I have to show you on here, so let's hop on to the last Hoyo game. Okay, now we are getting logged into Zenless. So I did use quite a few pulls on the standard banner. I believe I reached Pity, which is how this happened for me. I got Colita. I don't know. Is this my first copy of her, guys? Does anyone know? I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, Cinema Zero. I thought so. But I also was lucky enough to, at 80 pity, get my hands on Nengong, and I am so beyond happy. I wish I had like all three of the trio, but I pulled on every single one of them and just never got anyone. And if there's anyone that I wanted the most, it's definitely her. So I'm just grateful that I at least have one of the trio. I can feel at least a sense of accomplishment because of that. And I also got the little it's like a little keychain thing that hangs on your phone in game. It's so cute, and you get that for collecting one of them. You get different rewards for getting all of them, which is also another reason I wanted all of them. And also they have really cute outfits, but it's fine, I guess. It's fine. But anyway, that's all I have to show you for here, so let me hop on to the next game. Next up, we have Withering Waves. Today, actually, technically I think it was last night, but today is the first official day of the anniversary for them, so they're doing all these huge rewards. I am super excited about that, but I also am trying to save my pulls because if you watched my live stream video on my other channel, I desperately want Denia, so I've got to hold out and stay strong and not use any pulls for right now. But let me tell you what I did do with my pulls previously, because hey, too late now. That's not my characters. Why did it go there? At 70 pity on the Lene banner, I won the 50-50. I got myself Lene, which is super exciting because I do want to build her soon and hopefully be able to use her. I also got her Spectrum Blaster, which I was really excited about because I just had some leftover pulls, so I decided to use them. I always save all my weapon pulls for until I have a character. Like, I don't want to use them before I get the character, just because I learned that the hard way with Chacona, and so I no longer do that. So once I secured Lene, I used any pulls I had left. I can't even remember what pity it was, but I got myself Spectrum Blaster. I feel like it was likely hard pity, but I don't know. But April was really just Lene focused in terms of Withering Waves. Hopefully May will be Denia focused. I believe she will come out towards the end of May, so hopefully you will see a pull session #1, but also in my May wrap up, hopefully you'll see me screaming and raving about her and her teddy bear weapon. Just saying. Anyway, I have one more gacha game to yab about, and then we're done with the gachas. Obviously, the last game I'm going to talk about is Infinity Nikki, but, you know, there's an update somehow between now and when I did my dailies earlier, so I've got to update it and then get back to y'all. Give me a second. Okay, let me get to, I believe it's Evolution? Yeah, this is the best place. So, while doing pulls on the standard banner, I was able to get myself the Shark Mirage Evolution outfit. This is the one I prefer, obviously, because it's like pink and green. This one is so much more my vibe, and I actually want to use this as my current fishing outfit because this is so cute and I'm very excited about it. I also secured myself the last of the standard 5 stars that I needed, which was this Whispers of Waves outfit. I now have every single one of those outfits, and I believe I might also now have every single one of their first color evolutions. One of them might also have their second color evolution, but it's crazy to think I've done so many pulls on the standard banner that that's how many of these outfits I have. I love this game though, I won't complain. And this second evolution being this pink dress, this pinky purple wave dress, it's so pretty to me. I adore this evolution specifically. It's my favorite out of all of them, so I'm super happy to have it. I got it just for free from doing enough pulls on the banner. I chose to just pull on the 4-star banners last update because I didn't really vibe with the 4-star on the main limited 5-star banner. So I pulled the Echoes Upon the Gale. This is mainly thanks to Swiffy. She grinded out so many pulls for me so that I was able to get this. So thank you, Swiffy. I just really like this outfit. I kind of have a couple ideas for how I could style it, and I want to do a few more of those Infinity Nikki like themed outfit videos. So I'm trying to collect certain pieces for certain ideas I have. And the very last thing I got on Infinity Nikki was another thing from the standard banner, and it is this Sweet Jazz Nights evolution. So now I officially have both colorways for this. I personally don't know which one I prefer more. I think maybe the second one just because it's a little more bright and colorful, but this is not one of the standard outfits I care about as much, like the butterfly bug catching one and the shark fishing one. But that is still how I have to end off the gacha games. So now we're going to jump into the rest of the games, which are actually all on my Switch. So I need to pull that out so I can show you guys just a couple updates on there. Okay, so last month in my wrap up, I think I mentioned that I bought a Switch 2. And so this month, obviously, I was getting a lot of use out of it. I wanted to get back into Animal Crossing a little bit because obviously it's supposed to run a little better on the Switch 2, and I can say it definitely does. And because of that, I worked on my entrance a little more. I want to show you the progress I made and what I did. So, one of the main things that I did in the month of April on Animal Crossing was just worked on my entrance a little more. I believe it was just because of Easter. I wanted to decorate everything a tiny bit more. So, you'll see I added more paths up here and then also just tried to create a little bit of an area for everyone to explore. And then I don't really think I touched anything I had over here. I do need to get that money tree. But I did the best I could to just kind of try to expand my entrance. That way I can work on some more areas and making them connect to it. Don't think I did anything over here yet. Yeah. But that's what I have for you there. And then I want to show you a resident that I had move in. This one was really disappointing for me. We had ourselves Tiffany move in. I honestly didn't love the vibe at first, but I think I'm just going to change her outfit and maybe her house up a little bit, and then I'm going to like it more. But Tiffany was not on my plate for like villagers, and she's definitely not on my little roster for dream villagers for this island. You're ruining my plans, Tiffany. But that's my Animal Crossing updates. Next up, I dove into a new game, which is actually a free game. It is on Switch, and I don't know if it's on mobile devices yet, but it will be, and that is Pokemon Champions. I am a big Pokemon fan, so of course I had to try this out, and if it's, a free game, then there's no harm in trying it. And of course I found myself addicted because there's kind of a gacha system where you pull Pokemon and you can get shiny ones and things like that, so it's addicting. I want to show that this is my singles team right here. I have a shiny Rotom. This is the Oven Rotom. And then I have a shiny Tinkaton. This is from the Pokemon Go Community Day. I made sure to grab one literally just for this. Trying to get a shiny Goo Baby still. This is my doubles team. I do a Bellybolt doubles team, so if you've been getting your butt kicked by Bellybolt, that was me. Just kidding, it probably wasn't. But I like to play Bellybolt with Alchemy and then also Klefki because you can Trick Room. Thanks, Brooks. Brooks teaches me everything. That's how I get big brain smart. And then Typhlosion and Kangaskhan are usually the two that I'll send out. I have Machamp, obviously, because sometimes you need a fighting type. And so those are my teams. That's how I'm feeling about this game. Still haven't pulled a shiny yet. We'll get them one day, I guess. And the very last update I have for you is a really fun one. Everyone's been talking about this game, so obviously I didn't have to talk about it, but I had to update y'all that yes, I'm also playing it, and I got it maybe the week it came out. I could not wait. I was trying to resist buying it, played the demo, and instantly bought it. And of course, I'm talking about Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream. My island is the basement island, and the theme of it is literally just my friends and then kind of like characters that we all like. So I have to show you the little roster that I have. We've got me, Brooks, Ryo, obviously. We've got Simon, and then Swift and Illy. I still need to add Angel, Myra, Kayla. I have so many friends I still have to add, so don't worry. And then also, of course, the characters that they want in here. I feel like for sure we're doing Frolova for Illy, so all of that needs to be done. I do kind of want to show some of the silly clips because why not? It'll kind of give you a feeling of the vibe of my island. So if you can't tell, this is Simon and Ryo. They are in love. Ryo and Brooks wanted to move in together, and so they are living in a house together called the Fortress of Meripede, obviously. This is what Brooks did after it was confirmed they were going to move in together. He just kind of did a little jig. Let me show you.
On 3, 1, 2, 3.
Gaming. This is Swift and Illy interacting. What's up with Illy? And then after this interaction happened, they both just ran off. Illy went like zooming off. And then Swift just left and went inside her house, didn't even invite Illy in. Look at that. Illy's like, what just happened? Anyway, I don't want to sit here and yap about this forever. I really could, because this was the highlight of my month. Such a good purchase, no regrets at all. I bought the digital version and I never do. I'm very big on owning a physical copy, but I wanted it that exact second I finished the demo stuff, so I bought the game and that's how I ended up there. But that is all of the games and all the updates I have to share for you for this month. Obviously, I know it was a lot, but we still have a little bit more of this video to go. The next section of this is going to be strictly talking about all of the books I read and what I rated them. So let's go ahead and jump into that. Also, I want to do a little shameless plug for my Fable book club. I actually have not read the last book club pick yet, but I do plan to read it this month, even though it's a little late. We kind of do our book club for 2 months just to give everyone time to get through the book and make commentary on it. The link to that book club will be in the description below, so make sure you check it out if you're interested. But I did just want to mention that I did not get around to reading that book this month, but it's definitely going to come soon, so look out for that. I kind of want to get into doing reading vlogs, and so I thought it would be fun if I did that book for a reading vlog, but honestly, y'all just let me know if that's something you even want to see on this channel. I just want to try out some new things and kind of start having more fun with my content and incorporating more things into this channel specifically. But we're going to start off with the very first book I read, which was on my Kindle. This book is on Kindle Unlimited, and the audiobook is actually included with Kindle Unlimited, I believe. And that was The Fix by Mia Sheridan. If you all saw last month's wrap up, then you saw I started a little reading journal where I kind of write down all my thoughts and everything I want to cover in my wrap-up videos. It's supposed to be a little guide to help me talk about different things and my thoughts on the books, because obviously by the end of the month your brain gets a little like scrambled with everything that you did and everything that you read. So this just helps me keep track of it. So if you see me looking away or like referencing anything, it would be this reading journal. I do also just want to show you the spread that I did for it. It's honestly not anything fancy, but this book is a romantic suspense / thriller. So I was just trying to go for a, I don't know, spooky, ominous vibe, as well as the butterflies and things and the flowers relate to some of the parts of the story. I rated this book 4 stars. It honestly was not what I expected. I didn't expect to go into this even really enjoying it very much, so when I was blowing through it, I was pleasantly surprised. This book follows a girl, Cammie, who suffers through a tragic and traumatic experience in her childhood. She spends years trying to move on and honor the loss of her mom and her sister. But one day, 11 years after the initial incident, Cammie receives a phone call telling her she has the chance to do a do-over. I went into this book extremely blind, and I think that's probably the best anyone can do for it. I think going into it with no expectations, as well as not a lot of the plot, will really help you enjoy it. I've not read any of this author's other books, so I really didn't know what to expect at all when I went into this, so it shocked me, and I was very entertained throughout. The balance of romance and actual thriller in the plot was done really well. Like, there wasn't too much of either of them. You weren't left wanting more of either of them. It was paced and done so well that I think you got just enough of each of them throughout the entire story. This book does cover a lot of triggering things, and honestly the opening scene to the book is extremely triggering, so please make sure you check your trigger warnings if you decide to pick this book up. But overall, I really enjoyed this book and the characters. It was a refreshing read that very effortlessly combined 2 of my favorite genres. I wanted to read a couple of the quotes that I wrote down for it as well, just because I felt like there were some that really stood out. On page 88, it says, "Who could say why one person was more affected by casual cruelty than another?" On page 186, "I think it's right and good that we have no idea when we're experiencing a loss. The beauty is in the oblivion and in the ordinary." And the last quote I have is page 288. "Grief was so odd that way, sneaking up when you least expected it and knocking you sideways." So hopefully that kind of sets the tone for this book. Like I said, I rated it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, and it definitely put this author on my radar, so hopefully I'll pick up another book by them soon. The next book I read was a library book that I actually already returned, and I also listened to the audiobook on Libby, and that was Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. Obviously, this is a romance. This was my first 5-star read of the year, I believe. I enjoyed this book from beginning to end. There is so much I want to talk about and say for it, so I'm very excited to get into it. This is the page that I put together. I honestly was just trying to go for like an old American vibe and also, I guess, British. I don't know. If you read the book or watched the movie, hopefully you look at this and you're like, oh my god, that's absolutely, yeah, that makes sense. Obviously, I've been wanting to read this book for so long, so when I saw it on the shelves at the library, it was like an instant pickup for me, and I checked it out that day and decided it was going to be the first book from my little library stash that I dove into. This is a beautiful LGBTQ romance about the first son of the United States, Alex, and a British Prince Henry. In the midst of Alex's mother running for re-election, the family attends a royal wedding, and Alex finds himself in a physical altercation with the groom's brother, Prince Henry. And after the incident becomes publicized, they're forced to pretend to the media that they're best friends. I loved the bisexual representation in this book. I feel like it was done in such a beautiful way, and it was so heartwarming, and I got to feel so connected to the character Alex in that way. The characters and their relationships with each other were so detailed that they actually felt like real people, and when watching the movie, that only solidified that thought for me. I literally was like, how are these not like real people? How is this not actually real life? I thought that the story itself was fun and unique. I personally have just never read anything like this before in terms of, I guess, like a political kind of romance. The pacing was perfect, and I think the book picks up almost instantly within the first chapter. There is not a single chapter that lacks in any sort of detail. I could not put this book down, and the audiobook was an amazing way to continue it for me. This was probably the easiest 5-star I think I've ever given. I just loved this book, and I really did love the movie. I thought it was such a fun, cute rom-com, and I think I've already watched it maybe 2 or 3 times. I will probably put it in my normal rotation and watch it quite a few more times. I feel like my flyaways just cannot be tamed today, so please ignore that my hair has just not listened to me at all throughout this video. It's fine. The next book that I read was actually a manga. I picked up My Hero Academia Volume 3 from the library. This volume starts off just by showcasing the aftermath of the major villain attack that we ended off the last volume on. After getting literally one day to rest up and recharge, they are forced to go straight back to school, and they are given a talk about the upcoming sports festival that they need to start preparing for. The sports festival is described as an event where the students get a chance to showcase their quirks in unique ways, and they do this while competing against their other classmates. I tore through this volume in literally just one day. I just adored seeing the different characters' dynamics with each other and how they use their quirks. When I finished this one, I was super excited to pick up the next volume because I knew it was going to pick up very quickly and right where we had left off, and obviously the sports festival was giving super big event that I knew was going to read well on paper. And of course, after something light and fun like that, I had to pick up The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, which, if you don't know, is a dystopian novel about an overthrown America that has encountered widespread infertility issues. We follow Offred, a handmaid who has her life torn away from her as well as her child and her husband, and she is now forced into a family to birth a child for this commander. Now, obviously, this is also a show which I started around the same time I started this book, but this book took me 2 weeks to get through just because there was so much I felt like I had to process throughout every page. This was a book that I read on Kindle Unlimited, and I also got the audiobook from Libby just to help me get through it because obviously with older books, I feel like language is different, and so you kind of, it can take a little longer to get through the book, so the audiobook really helps me get through it quicker and also just understand it a little better. This book, obviously, I say obviously, just because I feel like for most people this book is a 5 stars. It's really hard to rate it any other way because it's just a phenomenal book. The way that everything is presented and the way that it's done is so good, and obviously it's that good because they created an entire show that has 6 seasons, which to me is crazy because it literally takes the book for the first season and then they just expand upon the entire story throughout the next seasons. I haven't even finished the show, but wow, insane stuff, I will say. The show is, in my opinion, really good in its own sense. We follow Offred through her day to day life and see what she is subjected to every single day. I enjoyed seeing the different glimpses of timelines in this book. Obviously, we get to see who she was before she became Offred. We see her life before everything became this. And then also, we see how the world has changed and what her life looks like for her now. This book made me feel a range of emotions, though. Obviously, that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to make you think. Some parts were sounding scarily familiar though, and those were the times I had to put the book down and just like touch grass, I will say. But I did love the way that this book ended. I know a lot of people don't really love the way that it ends, but I do enjoy the idea of endings being left up to interpretation because I think it's cool that a person can kind of decide how they think the book ended. And obviously, because the book ended that way, I feel like that is what inspired the show to continue on the way that it did. So honestly, I thought this book was a masterpiece. I was excited to have 2 5-star reads this month because obviously Red, White, and Royal Blue was a 5-star read for me, but this was as well. I do want to show off my little spread for you guys really quick, and then I do have to read the quotes, obviously, because how am I going to tell you about this book and then not tell you the quotes that I wrote down? On page 105, it says, "I believe in resistance as I believe there can be no light without shadow, or rather, no shadow unless there is also light." On page 211, "Better never means better for everyone," he says. "It always means worse for some." And then page 271, the last quote I have written down, "Truly amazing what people can get used to as long as there are a few compensations." So yeah, all I'm going to say is if there's any book recommendation you take from me from this video, please let it be Handmaid's Tale, especially right now. I just feel like the reason I picked this up was because I was like, there's no better time to read this than now, and I honestly was right. Like, I feel like reading it now really just made my brain expand even more and think even more. And I guess, you know, that's not always healthy for me, but I will say it was a journey and it was a fun one to go on. And of course, after reading something heavy like this, I had to jump into something a little bit more like tame. So I picked up a palette cleanser, and for me, that was My Hero Academia Volume 4. This was another library book that I picked up. I have been getting all my manga from the library. So a little tip for you, if you want to read manga but like don't want to spend $1 million to purchase all the copies, go to your library. They have probably way more than you could even imagine they have. I didn't even think to check that they had manga, but they do, and they actually have a large section, and for me, even online, I can go and get different books that they don't even have at my local library, but they'll take them to my local library, so I will never stop recommending the library. I actually have this volume, so I don't know why I'm not holding it up to show you. This volume, obviously, if you can't tell by the cover, revolves around the UA Sports Festival, which is what I kind of mentioned when I was talking about the other volume. It's what we spent the last volume prepping for, essentially. The students are just hoping to showcase their quirks and move on to find themselves a superhero mentor. I did really enjoy this volume. I actually rated it 3.5 stars, I believe. I have contacts in, but I still literally can't see screens. Like, something about screens and contacts, it doesn't work for me. For some reason, like, even though I know what I'm going into when I pick up My Hero Academia, the volumes that are just full of action are a little bit less appealing to me just because I'm so interested in character dynamics and seeing how characters interact with each other. But that being said, I still did really enjoy this volume. I enjoyed getting to see everyone's quirks be broken down more, but I am excited to get back to volumes with maybe a little bit more character development. The way this volume ends, though, it does seem like I'm going to have one more volume with the sports festival because this kind of ended on a cliffhanger, so picking up the next one, I believe, will likely finish up this whole sports festival. I did really want to pick up the next volume right away, but I'm trying to pace myself with this because I don't want to completely tear through it. I'm trying to like enjoy it and think about it and process it, and also just put it in between different reads. So after this, I did not instantly pick up the next volume, but just know it was in my brain. But the very last book I completed this month was another book from the library because I've just been on a really big library kick. If there's another thing I can recommend from this video and like some sort of advice you can take from this, it's go to the library. Go to the library. But the next book I read was Beautiful World, Where Are You by Sally Rooney. I also picked up the audiobook from Libby to help me read through this a little bit quicker. This is a story of 2 girls who struggle to find beauty in their own worlds. We follow Eileen and Alice, who are lifelong, like, childhood friends, with the tendency to just be brutally honest with each other. We go through the day-to-day life of both of these characters, as well as we see their email interactions with each other, how they communicate with each other and others, and how they talk about each other. We see how their relationship grows and changes throughout the years, and as boys come into their lives. I will say I usually love Sally Rooney's writing. I guess I can't say I usually do because I've only read Normal People, but Normal People was a really high rated book for me. I don't think it was quite 5 stars, but it was 4 point something if I remember correctly. But this book was honestly a complete miss for me. I rated it 2.5 stars, and that was just being nice because I like Sally Rooney's writing and like her stories are at least interesting. But I hated seeing how these characters talk to each other, and I hated their friendships. They were just toxic. Like I really didn't feel like these friends needed to be friends. This felt like just proving a point to me that like you can sometimes let your childhood friends like slowly fade out of your life and not just try to force relationships and then be freaking evil to each other. I don't know. That's all I took away from this, and maybe I just wasn't like getting enough into it, but even with the audiobook, I just was like, what am I reading? Why am I reading this? And usually I'll DNF books that make me feel that way, but like the way this book was done, it was at least done in a way where it was so interesting that I couldn't just DNF it. I had to get to the end to see like, does it get better? Like, do they get better? Is this relationship going to be better? Is there going to be a point where they're not going to be this way towards each other? I don't know, but having the audiobook to get through it definitely helped me. Otherwise, I probably would have DNF'd it. The audiobook really just helped me stay at least a little interested in the story enough to finish it. Obviously, I have to show the little spread I did for it because I'm kind of proud of it. I think it's cute. It's supposed to match the theme. I don't know. I wrote 2 quotes down from this book, which I will read to you. One of them is on page 20. We can't conserve anything, and especially not social relations, without altering their nature, arresting some part of their interaction with time in an unnatural way. And then page 198, whenever something good happens to me, I always find myself thinking, I wonder how long it will be until this turns out badly. So yeah, I mean, I went into it knowing it was going to be like a doomer-ish book because like it's Sally Rooney. I wanted it to be a little depressing and a little like not a happy ending, but this was just like not a happy life. Like for real, beautiful world, where are you? Actually, for real, there's not a beautiful world anywhere in there because they have not created that for themselves in their mind. Beautiful world, it's all made up. It's in your head at this point. That's how I feel about it. So, literally, that's all I have to say. That's all of the books I read. I think I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I read 6 books in total this month, which is pretty good. I think I read a little bit more, maybe 1 or 2 more books last month, but it's not a race. It's not about how many books you read each month. I honestly was just really proud of myself for getting through books and also having like quality books. This month was mostly a month of really solid book reads. Like, I feel like every single book was mostly highly rated for me. The only one obviously that is going to be that last book I read, but I read it and I talked about it and now I can completely erase it from my mind. It's in this little journal if I ever want to remember how I felt about it and be like, why didn't I like it? Girl, it's all here. This is why I keep this, so I can never ever forget. I want to feel the rage or whatever emotions I felt when I was reading the book, even if I tried to suppress it and get rid of it. When I film these videos, I need it to come back like full force. But anyway, that's literally all I have for you. This is going to bring us to the end of today's wrap-up video. This one was really fun to film. I had a lot of fun talking about all of these different things, and I hope it was fun for you guys to listen to me yap about them. If you enjoyed this, definitely make sure you leave a like and a comment down below. That way I know to continue making these at the end of every month. Also, don't forget my Discord server is always linked in the description below for anyone that would like to join, as well as my Fable book club will be linked there as well. You can also find my other channel if you're interested in my gaming content. That's here on YouTube. It's at Mushfairy, but it will also be in the description. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Bye!